So Shane, thank you for being here. Tell me about the course you've just completed. What was it called?
So it's ILM Level 3 in Leadership and Management.
Fantastic. So what made you choose that particular course in the first place?
I've always had a hunger to learn and to develop inside of work and outside of work. And when I learnt about adult apprenticeships, it just seemed a really good opportunity just to progress myself into leadership and management. I was heading towards that role anyway. I wasn't a leader or a manager when I started the apprenticeship, but I was heading in that direction, so it just seemed to kind of link together really well.
How long did it take you to complete the course?
14 months from
14
start
months.
to finish.
And then you went on to do your endpoint assessment after
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
And how long did that take roughly?
So the endpoint assessments were across one day, so it was around 3 hours in total, I think, online. And then there's the preparation of a portfolio as well, which takes a bit longer, so you have to put all the work you've completed over the previous 14 months into a PowerPoint presentation, essentially.
Right. So tell me a little bit more about how the course was structured. Did you have some time off to complete your studies? Was it all online? Did you go away to do any study schools? How did that work?
A bit of a mixture of both, really. So initially started with online workshops. So they were every month. I think it was for about 3 hours each time. And then the last 6 months is in-person workshops. So a mixture of both. And then in between, the study is kind of up to you a lot of the time. So my tutor was good at kind of giving me paths to kind of follow. And some, some websites, podcasts, those kind of things that you could listen to.
Right.
But a bit of a mixture of everything, really, in-person, teams, and then under your own steam as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned having a tutor that was dedicated for this course. Who else kind of gave you some support and encouragement along the way?
So actually, lots of my colleagues. So my own team, I requested quite a lot of information around producing their own learning styles, their own Myers-Briggs personality analysis, those kind of things. 360 feedback I asked for the wider team as well. Just the Johari window, which is everyone's opinions of you.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of the team, and everyone was very supportive. My manager as well.
Good.
Who joined quite a number of our calls and just gave me the time and the feedback to kind of develop where I needed to.
Good. So would you recommend this course to your colleagues?
Absolutely.
If they were about to embark on a course?
Absolutely. I think for me, being newer to leading and managing people, I learned an awful lot about myself, not just about how to be a manager, because there isn't this is how to be a manager. It's more how to manage and lead people with your own personality and your own style, but also the structure around doing those things as well. So not just, managing isn't just please go and do that. It's about coaching, it's about leading people, it's about encouraging and developing people. So learning the skills and the structure to be able to do that was a massive thing for me. I think I've come on leaps and bounds in the last 18 months through doing the apprenticeship.
So tell me how you've used some of those things then post-apprenticeship in your role currently.
I think one of the big things is the approach to situations, good or bad. So probably in particular for me is conflict. I was kind of avoid conflict. I kind of bury my head and just, that's happening, I'll hide away from it. But actually with the right kind of process and the right structure and the right approach to the situation, it isn't a conflict, it's just something that you kind of have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and how to turn those things into positives, because they're not always a negative. Sometimes opportunities for learning or development of staff. That was a big thing for me, just having those.
Because everybody fears those conversations, don't they? Without that structure and knowledge prior, like you say, you either avoid them or totally mess them up completely. Yeah, and I was an avoid, but I'm not now because I've just got that, the kind of structured approach to it now. Okay. Is there anything else that you think's been really impacted in your role? Something else that you've kind of gone, oh, that's a light bulb moment?
I think self-reflection. I think learning more about myself and kind of what situations where my strengths lie, where my weaknesses lie, where I need to focus on where those weaknesses are, or just that approach to a situation rather than avoid it. Just how I can approach it that suits my personality style. I'm not a guns blazing, going, stamping feet. Some people are, but that I can approach those situations in my own style now because I understand more about myself. I think that was a huge thing for me.
Brilliant. Yeah. And tell me, what was your result in the end?
Distinctions.
Fantastic.
Across the board. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Brilliant.
Thank you.
So what would you say to anybody who was considering doing an apprenticeship that's currently working for us?
Go for it. Absolutely go for it. One of the big things and one of the big concerns at the beginning for me, I work full time, I've got kids, I've got life like everybody has, and I was a bit concerned how much this may impact that. And actually, a lot of the work you do is kind of intertwined with your day-to-day work. So you're not sitting studying for hours and hours and hours. You can, of course, but you don't have to. It just kind of intertwines with your daily job. So I would say absolutely go for it. I think it's a great opportunity for anybody.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks.
Thank you.